Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here, and welcome to my review for the Kamen Rider build finale. This, obviously, based on what I've said in the title, is going to be a review for the finale episode only. As per usual, I am going to do a series review. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. I usually try to have that out before the first episode review of the new Rider series, but there's a lot of videos that I have going on in this next week, so there's a chance it might come out after. But if anybody is looking forward to that or wanting to see that, that will happen, the build series review. It just might be a little later than like ones in the past like Ghost and X8 have been. Okay, so build finale. Honestly, I thought this was a very solid, very good build finale. Just for build though. It would have been a weird finale for any other show since it's so build centric. No, but like, it was good just in terms of, like, some of the action and some of the beats they covered, and I feel like they thematically tied a lot of things, like, looped, which was really neat, and it had a really satisfying ending for me. So that's it. Until next time. No, I'm just kidding. No, but basically, you know, we pick up where we left off. Ryuga's about to sacrifice himself, and Sento's like, no you. And there's, like, a really nice scene just to start, where Sento's, like, going off because he wants to save Ryuga, too, along with saving everybody. And there's a really nice scene with Misora and him before he takes off, where there's a line I really like, which comes back around at the end, or like near the end again, where she says, "You're the rider we all built, or the Sento we all built," and I really like that. It was I like how I say I really like that line, and then I don't get the line exactly right, because I don't think I'm getting it right, but you get the context. Just, I really like that. I'll come back around to that again when I get to the other part. But yeah, so he goes off to fight Evolt. They end up in like this weird desert purgatory existing between, I guess, the two Earths before they smash. Hey, smash. See, it all comes around, all the terms. But yeah, so then, you know, Banjo's in there and basically build an Evolt fight, and every now and then Ryuga and Sento have a little interaction. But there was another really nice scene that just kind of brought things full circle when one of the times Ryuga and Sento were talking. I feel like I said Banjo and Ryuga were talking at one point. That's like him talking to his last name. Anyway, Sento and Ryuga, and he says, like, let me do this, you know, it makes, like, my face under here is smiling. And it was this really nice callback that I looped back to early in the series, when basically, like, Ryuga was talking to Sento about why he does this, and he talks about how, like, when he helps people, he can't help but smile, even if you can't see it under the helmet. And I thought it was nice, not just great callback to that scene, but a great callback to how far Ryuga's come since then, and just how far they've come as a friendship since then. It was really nice. I liked that a lot. The fight, excuse me, was fun to watch. It's basically one of those classic fights where you kind of run through a majority of the power-ups. Like, we got to see Sparkling again, Rabbit Rabbit Tank Tank, we didn't see Black Hazard, but we got to, like, see most of the weapons, and by that I mean, did we see the hot Gatling weapon? I know we saw the full bottle buster thing and then the drill, but so it wasn't everything. And we didn't see any of the other little best matches except outside of like clips when they showed stuff. Because that would have been kind of a lot. But it was kind of one of those classic fights. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. It is kind of weird the way he powers down, almost like he's going Super Saiyan levels down, even though it makes no sense because, like, it's based on what devices are in the driver, so I don't know. But it was a fun fight to watch, and I liked, like, the emotional stuff with Ryuga in there, and, you know, Evolt bringing back up that, like, he was the rider he created, all that stuff. And then there was a nice scene near the end of the fight where Sento says, like, you know, basically more or less the point of what he said was, you know, Kiryu Sento was built by these people that I found, this sort of found family, because he has this really, it was a nice little vision of, like, the core cast, like the little family they've created, and that kind of tied back to what Misora said, and I really liked that meaning, because there's several different meanings you can take for build, you know, but I like that one specifically. You know, it was about building this person that is Sento, who basically started from scratch, and I thought that was really cool way to tie it into the name of the writer. And then they did another thing where when he was getting ready to free Ryuga and was dealing one of the final blows, he talks about Sento and Ryuga are a best match, which I thought was also a nice way to use a core term from the series to thematically tie into one of the main parts of the show, which I thought was, I just really liked that. That was the stuff I really loved about this finale. But then they win, and then there's a scene of Sento holding promotional material. He's got the Cross the Cross Ride Watch. And for a second I thought Zio was going to show up, or Geo was going to show up, because I remember hearing that, but I guess it was just the watch, because they're going to be in Geo's show. And I was kind of disappointed just because I'm not a fan of when they interfere with the finale. If we were to do episode 50 that was kind of an epilogue and then Geo showed up, kind of like Drive did with Ghost, that's cool, fine. I don't mind that, but I always get annoyed when they kind of just interfere with the narrative for crossover promotion. But all it was is he was holding it. I'm sure that'll come back around in Build's Geo episode. But anyway, and it was funny because like when he woke up with it, there was like a rabbit that appears in the left of the frame, and I was half expecting like a tank to roll up, but it was just the rabbit. Oh, also, rewinding, for the final blow, or part of the final blow, he did like the rabbit dragon form, which I like how you could tell, unless like, because I think it was used in the movie, because like, obviously we haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't think they had the suit for filming this, because it was all CG, like it was like CG for lifting up for this, and then he went back to rabbit tank. But so, that was neat for like the form and thematically for him and Ryuga, but it was just funny that it seemed like they didn't have the physical suit. Anyway, back to fast forwarding. So he, wakes up on basically this new Earth that is a combination of Earth 1 and Earth 2. Everything's at peace, but nobody remembers him. There's no skywall. Basically nobody remembers anything that happened in the Build series, because this new world, being a mismatch, didn't have all the skywall and the war and the riders. And we get to see where everyone is. Like Grease is coming in with the Yu-Gi-Oh brothers to see Misora, and he has a freak out, so we get one last classic Kazumi like freak out scene. Gentoku's with his dad, who's fine now, and Misora is working at the coffee shop with her actual dad. Speaking of, I was a little disappointed we never got a scene of her actual dad waking up back when things weren't merged, like, during the battles, because I think it would have been nice to have a scene between the two of them discussing what happened and his reactions to everything. That was a missed opportunity. So like the first time we get to see her actual dad awake again is now that the Earths are merged, and Sento goes in there and they like, oh, Misora's like, I recognize you. He was like, could she remember? And then she recognizes him as Taro, that like C-list musician that they thought he was because of the face. And so he's out there somewhere. And there's a scene too where he's talking to Kasaragi, he's like, well, I guess it's time to take my leave. Like, it's a funny time, because it's like, oh, Sento, no one remembers you on this Earth, you're all alone. Well, guess you can't even talk to yourself now. I'm assuming there's probably a Kasaragi on this Earth too, but I don't know. I think that'd be something interesting we might see in a future Build special, who knows. But it's kind of interesting how all that works, because it was kind of, I'll talk about that in a second, but it's interesting. We don't even know that I was going to talk about it. It was in my head. But like, I feel like some of them should remember, because shouldn't some of them be from Earth 1 and some from Earth 2? And if they merged two of them, shouldn't have some of the memories? I don't know, just for the way it worked. Like, I'm assuming, like, obviously Grease and Gentoku were probably solely from Earth 2 because they sacrificed themselves. I don't know how it works. But I think that all made for a really nice ending. I think I talked about a couple times, I think it was in Ghost and in X-Aids and just other videos, that something I always liked about Rider finales is that they were a little bit unique. They were less, like Sentai finales and Ranger finales and other ones always were just kind of a neat bow on it. And something about Rider finales is they were always a little bit unique. There was always some sort of twist or weird element that sometimes left you with a weird taste in your mouth, but I always thought that made it unique, and I like that Build had that. It was something that wasn't just a standard finale, everything's fine. I mean, he saved the world, but it was a little bit bittersweet, and it was a good way of, oh, Gentoku's alive and Grease is alive, but their sacrifices weren't meaningless, and it was just really beautiful and bittersweet, and really a testament to Sento's, heroism, and that he was willing to live in this world where nobody remembers him so long as everyone was safe in some form. And it was kind of this perfect way of fixing everything perfectly, but also a little bit imperfectly. So I really like that. But of course, and then he runs into this new Earth's Ryuga, who just thinks he's an MMA fan. It was honestly probably, I think, the saddest moment. And he was just like, I'm just glad you're alive, man. But then at the end, actual Banjo is there with him because he's the version with Evolt's DNA in him. So he gets to buddy cop his way around Earth 1.5, 2.53, whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of a bit of a way of taking away a little bit of the bittersweet of it, but I think that was worth it, because I think it's nice that the two of them get to still be friends and hang out together, especially with the final scene where they're kind of sitting on a bench looking out, and he says, you know, I've compiled all my memories into 49 episodes, and they start the narration from actually what is episode 2. Thanks, Josh, aka Living Ranger Key on Twitter. But so that was really neat, and it basically gives you the idea that after that they narrated all the episodes together. Like, all the narrations you've seen in all the episodes was them narrating from the finale on this new Earth. It is a little bit wonky because there was obviously some narrations that included other characters. I like to think either they, you know, somehow got them to read the scripts, like my friend Corey said, or they just did the parts themselves, but we were hearing the correct voices. I don't know. Regardless, I thought that was really cool. Even if it's not perfect, it was a funny little twist. Like, it made it meaningful and funny all at the same time, and was a great way in this finale to include the meta stuff of the narration that happens. Like, I love the idea that either just on that moment in the park bench or like for a couple days they just start narrating the episodes to themselves, and whenever I rewatch Build, that's gonna make it all the more neat, which I think is really cool. But yeah, overall, I was really pleased with this finale. I think it had a lot of really cool moments to watch. It just thematically looped so many things around, from the meaning of Build, Beast, Best Match, and the meta narration overall. It was just, and I had a really great, like, bittersweetly perfect ending. I think I'm gonna give this episode a 9 in my heart. I feel like objectively maybe it's more like an 8.5, but in my heart it's a 9. Very solid finale. Going to miss watching Build each week, but there's still, you know, going to be hyper battle videos and post stuff and seeing them in movies and stuff. And the movie, which we don't get to see till it's subbed for us, but that'll be fun. So again, the series finale is on the way. The series wrap-up is on the way. And then, of course, Geo is next week. I'm simultaneously half excited, half you're not my real dad syndrome right now. But anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get the notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.